You've talked about it earlier, and basically nutrition is the base where people need to start. How do they start eating better? What are some of the things that they need to do? I know it's talked about it a lot at the conference here, and
Sure.
you know, I know. Well, for instance, fat is a big topic that used to be a no-no. Now it's we should eat them, but which kind? I mean, where do people start when it comes to just getting a better diet?
Yes, I mean, it can be very confusing, can't
Yes.
it? I mean, if you go into a bookstore and look at the section on nutrition, you could just get more and more and more confused and tell what are you supposed to eat? Well, I talked about you've got to eat food. You've got to eat food that you can prepare. You've got to eat food that you know that is food. You can recognize as food. So that's the first thing. I mean, everybody's different, but not using not using refined carbohydrates is one thing. So we want to be eating a more of a low glycemic index diet, food that takes longer to digest, and therefore we're not getting the peaks of blood sugar like we would do with instant sort of refined carbohydrates. But I'm a real fan of correct amounts of saturated fat. So a low-fat diet, I think, is detrimental for our health. We need a certain amount, and obviously here at this conference we're talking about ghee, and they're talking about the importance of certain kinds of saturated fats. So that's a key. Not cooking in vegetable oil is a basic. There's some recent studies showing that the ingestion of vegetable oil could contribute to cancer, and it can be carcinogenic. So it's a big area, but we should be eating, fundamentally a lot of vegetables. If I think of a plate, a half of the plate should be vegetables, really. We should be eating veg, we should be eating really good quality protein, and we should be having good quality fat. But if you think about the increase in sugar intake has been massive. So I look at some stats, and they were talking about how the average person in a year would have something like 70 kilos of refined sugar a year. That would be 36 to 37 teaspoons a day. If we eat that amount of sugar, we drive inflammation because of the impact it has on insulin, and we drive all kinds of chronic inflammation in the body. So the first thing is cutting out refined carbohydrates, cutting out sugar, having good quality fats and protein, and not drinking sodas, not drinking fruit juice, drinking waters and teas and basic things. But unfortunately, to eat all of those things, often we have to be cooking ourselves or cooking properly rather than buying convenience food.